Okay, we're here. This is number 7 from the textbook for section 10.4, expected value. Are you ready? So you're walking down the street and see a tree with a ticket in it. It's a pretty weird problem, isn't it? So you look up in the tree and there's a ticket for a concert you want to go see, so you're going to climb the tree, but you're debating on whether or not you want to climb the tree. Because maybe the ticket is so cheap that you're not really interested. Bad tickets, right? Lawn seats. But maybe you want seats up front. So here we go. In this hall, section A, how much are they worth? Section A tickets are worth $35, and what percent of the seats are that amount? 16% of the seats are in Section A, and Section A tickets are worth $35. Do you get it? See, what happens in a concert hall, you have a stage down here, right? You got the stage, and then you got your Section A tickets, and then you got your Section B tickets, and then you got your Section C tickets, and then maybe out here you got your Section D tickets. And what's going on here is these are $35. These are... Come on, how much are these worth? These are worth 30, these are worth 25, and these are worth 15. So the further away you sit from the stage, the less you have to pay. Good? All right, what percent of the seats are here? 16% here, 24% here, 32% here, 28%. So, do those numbers add up to 100%? Check it right now. All right, we're going to slow it down here because I just can't keep up with myself. So, Section A, Part A of this problem is, what is the expected value of the ticket? So, on average, how much is this ticket worth? Let's pretend that you're debating on whether or not, you know you're going to climb the tree to get that ticket, but you want to already get it on StubHub, to see if, or any ticket agency, I do not endorse StubHub, okay, or any ticket agency to see, to make sure that you get the word out that you have a ticket for sale. You don't really want to go, you just want to make some money, right? So you want to think about how much should I put on the page on StubHub? What am I going to sell it for? Well, you want to get it on there before you know how much the ticket's actually worth. So what you do as a fine math student is you calculate the average value of the ticket. Now this is incorrect. Incorrect would be, well, it's either worth 15, 25, 30, or 35. So one incorrect method would be add the ticket prices and divide by 4. That's wrong. That would be fine if these percentages were all the same, but they're not. Okay? So to find the average ticket price, what you need to do is you need to give more weight to Section C, because there are more Section C tickets. It's like weights when someone, with grading, like graded weights, like homework is worth this percent, tests are worth this percent, and so on. All right? So here we go. All we need to do is take $15 times 0.28 plus $25 times 0.32 plus $30 times 0.24 plus $35 times 0.16. Press enter, and you have the average value of a ticket for this concert in this venue. And what is it? $25. So the average ticket price, this is Part A, the expected value of that ticket is $25 US. Any questions on Part A? All right, so that's the answer for Section A, for Part A. What was it? $25. Now, we're going to move down to Part C here that says, if the ticket is for Section A or C. So, we skipped Part B, but what it said was, you can tell by looking at the ticket that you know it's definitely A or C. I don't know how you know, based on the markings on the ticket. Maybe you've been to a lot of concerts at this venue. Maybe the Section A tickets are reddish-orange, and the Section C tickets are orangish red, and you know it's one of them. All right? If B and D are blue and brown, and you could tell it's not those. You understand what I'm saying? So you've narrowed it down. You know it's Section A or C. So what they want you to do, let's move to Part C. What's the expected value if you know it's one of those sections? This is the common method. Tell me what you think we do for Part C. You know it's either $25 in Section C times what percent? 0.32, or Section A, $35, and what's the chance of it being there? 0.16. And that should be the average price if you've narrowed it down to A or C. So what's 25 times 0.32 plus 35 times 0.16? Then take a moment to think why that answer is ridiculous. Answer? Answer, please. Point. Oh. 0.60. So $13.60 is the average price, the expected price of me knowing that it's in section A or C. Why wrong? It's not possible. First of all, that's one good reason. These two percentages don't add up to 100%. You didn't take into account everything. Furthermore, this price is lower than the cheapest price, section D. So if you've narrowed it down to A or C, which is 35 or 25, how could the average price be 13 bucks? Silly, right? The reason we did part C incorrectly is because we skipped part B. But I think I like doing it in this order because I like realizing why an answer is wrong. And then you think, wait a minute, something's wrong here. Let's go back, pretend this never happened. Let's go back and let's do part B. Read part B. Go. The markings on the ticket look like either section A or C. So it's reddish orange or orangish red, and you're slightly colorblind, so you can't tell. If this is true, then what is the probability the ticket is for section C? Here's what they're asking. What's the probability? What's the probability, given that you know it's either A or C? Remember that given line, that conditional probability? There's a condition here. The condition is we know it's one of these, but we can't tell which. What's the probability it's in section C, given that it's A or C? I take you to a land of Venn diagrams, and I'm going to ask you whether this Venn diagram would look like this or this. Section A, section C, section A, section C. Can you have a ticket that's both? Can you walk up to the usher and say, here's my ticket, it's in section A and C? Well, how's that going to work? What, are you going to clone yourself and sit in both seats? No. Yeah. You're either in A or C, and they are mutually, there you go, mutually exclusive. It's this. There's no overlap. So how do we find the probability of A or C? I'm sorry, those were wrong numbers, aren't they? They are? 0.16, great. How do we find the probability of A or C? Hold on a minute. Just how do you find the probability of A or C? What's OR mean? Add. What's the probability that your ticket is in A or C? 0.48. That's part of the answer here. Okay? So when you want to find the probability of C given A or C, you take the probability of C divided by the probability of A or C. We know the denominator. We just figured it out. 0.48. So we know already that the denominator is 0.48. If you forget, we calculated that on this page. The probability of being in A or C, add these two together. In the numerator, I just need the probability of C alone. 0.32. We basically have 32/48, which reduces to what as a fraction? 2/3. Listen to this and see if you understand it. Now that we've narrowed it down to either being in A or C, there's a 2/3 chance it's C, because there are more C tickets than A tickets, right? In fact, twice as many, 32% to 16%. 2/3, 2 out of 3. So what's the chance it's in A? 1/3. Okay? I'm gonna keep going. Are you ready? So, what we do for part C is we say, what's the value of a section A ticket times, now that we've narrowed it down to A or C, what's the probability of A? Let's use fraction 1/3 plus, what's the value of a C ticket? $25 times, now that we've narrowed it down, what's the probability? 2/3. Michael, does this add up to 100% now? Okay, so that's one of the reasons our former answer was bad, right? The probabilities didn't add up to 100. And what do we get here? What do we get? 28. Try it. Do 35 times 1/3 plus 25 times 2/3. $28.33. Is that answer more reasonable? If you know that that ticket is either in the $35 section or the $25 section, that its average amount is 28. You see how it's now in between? Yes. Think about gravitational pull. I know that sounds weird, but which of these has more weight? That or this? The black one, right? So it pulls the average closer to 25 than 35. If they were 50-50, what would the average price be? 30. We good? So you can feel confident posting that ticket on StubHub for $28.33. Not that I'm endorsing StubHub. It could be Ticketmaster, or it could be Penguin's Ticket Exchange, but it's not a ticket to the Penguin game. So